Have you ever made an error in judgment? It seemed like something was a particular way and it turned out to not be that way. Thought you wanted something, thought it was going to be good for you, and then you got it and it ended up being other than the best ever or horrible. How many people at one time thought they wanted something and then they got it and it turned out that their happiness was not in that thing? Has that ever happened for you? The amount of errors that come from judgment, which the Course teaches us accurate judgment is impossible, as we're judging from our perceptions, from our beliefs, from these ego programs, and it's just not possible for us with all this programming and all this emotion to have any kind of accurate sense of what is going to be good for us or bad for us. It's best just to turn it over. I mean, it's been said for thousands of years, probably best just not to judge, just to turn that over to God. So anytime you've been angry or fearful or wanted something or beat up on yourself, notice that there was a judgment involved in beating up on somebody else, beating up on yourself, being angry with somebody else, being angry with yourself, being afraid of something, wanting something. All of that comes with judgment. Judgment is optional. Judgment is optional. So today's lesson 347 from the Course in Miracles workbook says, anger must come from judgment. Judgment is the weapon I would use against myself to keep the miracle away from me. What's on the other side of judgment, perception, positionalities? Miracles. Miracles. If I'm free of judging you, I might just love you. If I'm free of judging this ego, I might just love this ego. If I'm free of judging this situation, I might just love it. Not because it's particularly high vibe or something that I would consciously choose to keep engaging with or doing again and again, but because it just is. It just is. I can love something without continuing to do it or continuing to hang out with it. So the options are love, free of judgment, free of needing anything, free of wanting anything, or suffer with judgment, anger, fear, pride, wanting, guilt, shame. So today let's just look at just anger. Just anger. We'll just stick with anger today. Let's do an anger release. Let's do some letting go on anger. Anger must come from judgment. Judgment is a weapon I would use against myself to keep the miracle away from me. And so, what are you angry with, about? It's okay. It's okay without judging the anger. Because if I say it's not okay to be angry or feel angry, then I'm going to judge it and put guilt on myself. So could you just notice the angriness? Hey, what's the judgment that was made that there's this anger? I thought it should be different than it is. I don't like what happened. I didn't get what I wanted. I just notice that judgment. Is it okay to relinquish this judgment? What about just giving up the judgment? Are you willing to give up the judgment, this weapon you use against yourself? Could you choose the option not to judge, not to have an opinion, not to have a positionality about this? And just notice if there's any clinging to it, hanging on to it. It's okay. And then the feeling behind the judgment. So let's say, okay, I'll let go of that opinion. I'll let go of that judgment, that positionality. Now, can you notice the anger? The anger that came up. It might dissipate a whole lot just by relinquishing the judgment and valuing the judgment, the opinion, the positionality. But there's going to be infinite judgments, opinions, and positionalities based on, well, seemingly infinite, a lot of them, based on this feeling of anger. So could you allow yourself to just feel angry, irritated, annoyed, or enraged without judging that feeling as bad or good, letting it be just a feeling? Could you allow that feeling to run? Just a feeling. Just feeling angry. Ignoring the thoughts. Thoughts are all resistance to just letting a feeling go. Could you just sit with this feeling, relinquishing this anger? Oh, full of angriness, it seems. Just gonna feel this feeling and let it go. Could you let go of the anger? Would you let go of the anger? When could you let go of the anger? And this lesson says anger must come from judgment, and judgment is the weapon I would use against myself to keep the miracle away from me. And can you just notice one of these judgments that you seem to be angry about? Or this anger and the judgments that go with it? Could be the same one, could be something else. Anger, judging that people aren't choosing the right way to look at God or themselves. They're the wrong political party. They're not doing what they should do what you want them to do. Any judgment, any anger that goes with it, just noticing it. And without attacking it further, without further judgment, could you just notice it? Are you willing to let go of that judgment, that opinion, that positionality? Would you let go of that judgment, that opinion, that positionality? It's just a choice. You don't have to let it go. Just notice that feeling behind that judgment. And whether you let go of the judgment or not, could you allow yourself to feel any anger there, irritation, or even rage? And when this feeling's up, there can be a lot of thoughts. Could you just let those thoughts drift by without clinging to them? and feel that feeling without making the anger bad or wrong or right and good. Just a feeling. Could you let that angriness just start to unpack? Feeling the angriness. And there can be a lot of this, particularly with people who've been not allowing themselves to feel it, judging the anger as bad or wrong. So if it comes up, could you just let it up, let it unpack? Let it release. If there's no judgments, no opinions, no positionalities to defend, do you need this anger? Could you release this anger? Would you release some angriness, or all of it? When could you release? Just a chance for now, and you never have to. And do you even need that judgment, that opinion? Could you just let it go? As you let go of the anger, as you let go of the judgments, the opinions, the positionalities, it may just all dissolve. Don't need to attack myself anymore. So this lesson says anger must come from judgment. Judgment is the weapon I would use against myself to keep the miracle away from me. And could you just notice something you've been angry about, irritated with? Now, it's okay. Sometimes I ask people this question, and they're like, no, there's nothing. There's nothing I'm angry about or irritated with or enraged about. And they've made it bad. They've judged the anger as bad, stuffed it. When they open up, we'll get a list of 20, 30 things that they're feeling angry about. So could you allow yourself to open up? Just look at one thing you've been angry or irritated with, enraged by. Maybe something you saw on social media. Maybe some way, some person's being. And are you willing to notice the judgment you have of that? How it should be a different way, they should be different, they're wrong. Whatever that judgment is that judgment valuable? Is it important? That opinion, that positionality you have about that or them? It might seem so. And whether it seems important or not, could you let it go? Would you let go of that judgment, that positionality, that opinion? And whether you'd let it go or not, could you notice the feeling behind that judgment, opinion, positionality? Could you let that feeling run? Just allowing that feeling. Again, there's been so much judgment of this feeling that it's been stuffed down, pushed down, fought against, claimed as real. Could you just let that feeling come up? Let yourself feel the angriness, the irritation, even the rage, without clinging to it, ignoring the thoughts. The thoughts are not necessary to feel the feeling and to surrender it to God. Could you just be with the experience of this feeling and surrendering it to God in this moment? Just turning it over. Letting it unpack, letting it dissipate. Oh, just some angriness. Seems there's some angriness here. Feeling that. Would you surrender the experience of angriness to God? Along with it, surrendering these opinions, judgments, positionalities. Just would you surrender angriness and the opinions that go with it to God? When could you surrender the weapons you use against yourself and let the miracle come to you? And just notice there could be more of that feeling. It's always okay to just keep surrendering it, keep experiencing it, turning it over to God, letting it go, releasing it. Again, people have suppressed a lot of anger, especially spiritual people who think it's wrong or bad, which is also a judgment. It's just a feeling, and could you let it go? And to save yourself a lot of suffering, could you notice that it's optional to judge something? It's optional to have an opinion. It's optional to claim and defend a positionality, an opinion, and a judgment. Just could you notice that that's optional? You don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to make something good or bad. At least probably not. Could you allow yourself the freedom of choice to engage with, value, judgments, opinions, positionalities? Could you just give yourself that freedom for a moment? Maybe you're not required to judge your physical body or the physical body of someone else. Perhaps you don't need to hold an opinion about your financial situation or the financial situation of someone else. Perhaps this positionality about your relationship romantically or lack of one isn't needed, isn't necessary. Maybe taking a side isn't required when it comes to politics or the right or wrong foods to eat. Now, all of that's very entertaining, and you're welcome to choose opinionation, positionalities, and judgments at any time. It's not good or bad. It's just suggested for your spiritual evolution to have a willingness to relinquish those. Turn them over to God. Could you notice that you have a choice to judge or to surrender this judgment to God? And what happens if you were to exercise your will, your freedom, and your choice to take these judgments as they arise and surrender them to God? Just give up judgment, give up opinions, give up positionalities. God, I don't know. I surrender. And so could you look at any judgments about yourself? Any positionalities about yourself? Any opinions about yourself? Could you relinquish valuing whatever came up for you and surrender it to God? Whether good or bad, whether it seems good or bad, right or wrong, could you let go of valuing, judging, opinion, and positionality? And just surrender it to God. You don't have to. Would you surrender judgment, opinion, and positionality to God? And it's okay. Notice what's coming up. Whatever's coming up is fine. There may be hundreds or thousands of opinions, judgments, and positionalities that you've been carrying about yourself. And all it takes is just one choice. Can you notice one of those other judgments, opinions, or positionalities you've had about yourself? And are you willing to surrender this to God? Drop this weapon. Would you surrender judgment, opinion, positionality to God? And these attacks, just surrendering them to God. Could you let go of valuing what is valueless and just surrender it to God? Just for now. There might be more that comes up. Is there any more? And it could be the same one. It could be something else. Any opinion about yourself, positive or negative? Any judgment about yourself, negative or positive, good or bad? Any positionality about you that seems right or wrong? Are you willing to relinquish this to God? Could you let go of this opinion, judgment, positionality? Just let go of it. Let God reveal to you what He thinks of you, knows of you. Would you let go of the judgments, positionalities, opinions, or at least just this one? God, how do you see me? When could you let go of valuing this judgment, this opinion, this positionality about yourself? And let God reveal to you in the silence, in the stillness, in the presence, what you are. What you actually are. Not a judgment, opinion, or positionality. What you actually are. Today, could you listen? Be still. And hear the gentle voice for God, assuring you that He has judged you as the Son He loves. Relinquishing opinion, judgment, and positionality. God, I listen for your judgment. I let go of valuing these ego opinions, judgments, and positionalities. God, how do you see me? How do you see this? I ask for the Christ vision. I ask for all that I experience to be contextualized in thy love. Could you drop the weapon you use against yourself and others of judgment, opinions, and positionalities? Could you drop the knife which opens suffering and surrender judgment to truth, to God? Well done releasing. Thank you so much for joining us, and have the best day listening for the voice of God about you.